Mr. Chair, I've gone through the proposed amendment by Senate, which seeks to delete clause 94, subsection 3. And for the benefit of the House, this subsection reads, a vice president who becomes president on the death, resignation, or removal from office of the president assumes office when he or she takes before the Chief Justice or the next most senior judge available the oath of president in the form set out in the third schedule, which oath he or she must take as soon as possible, and in any event within 48 hours after the office of the president becomes vacant. Mr. Chair, Senate proposes to delete this clause and to delete the current provision of the Constitution. My view, Chair, is that I disagree with that proposal. I actually believe, Chair, that whenever there's a vacancy in the office of the president, and it doesn't matter whether the parliament, the current provision in the CAB 3 says the parliament should then sit as an electoral college after the passing on or the removal of office from a president after in about 2 weeks. But in the meantime, a country cannot afford not to have a president. And the vice president, whom I understand from the amendments, is the last vice president that acted, surely should take an oath, should take an oath for that time frame, even if it means 1 week. The reasons is simple. Firstly, like I said, you cannot have a situation where that vice president, in that 2 weeks, you have the power and the functions of the executive president. So in as much as that vice president is not going to be there for a longer time, but because he or she is going to occupy the office of the president, be it 2 weeks or less, but during that course of time, he or she should actually take an oath. So the current provision as it stands in section 94.3, which I read, I think is actually correct. And in my humble view, there's no need for us to remove it. It should actually remain unless we are saying that we want someone to take over and then that person does not take an oath. Because that person should just take an oath because you are a president, albeit for a very short period of time. So to that extent, Mr. Chair, I move the amendment standing in my name that we reject the recommendation from the Senate.
Further debate.
Honorable Chair. Order. Let me just finish this part. I put the amendment proposed by Honorable Mushoriwa.
I need to respond.
Yes.
Clarify before you do that.
I was going to say, is there any debate, then you
because if you put it and it's rejected, it becomes mute. There's no need for me to respond. I need to respond so that when you put it,
I also need to debate.
Reject and.
Sorry, Honorable.
I think what is fair, Honorable Chair, is I should be able to explain the amendments.
Yes, I'm actually putting the question for debate, Honorable Leader of Government Business, so I'm not closing it off. Like I was saying, I put the amendment proposed by Honorable Mushoriwa for the deletion of clause 4. Is there any debate? I recognize
yes.
Honorable Chair.
Honorable
Chair, just
can you announce?
You get your chance. Order, you get your chance.
There's a procedure here, man.
Order. I've recognized the Leader of Government Business. You get your chance. Order. You get your chance. So relax. Order. Honorable Leader of Government Business, please carry on.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Mushoriwa does not understand what we are doing here. This clause is no longer effective. Even if we don't remove it, it was not even effective currently. When we did amendment number 2, we removed this. We even indicated that upon a vacancy existing, the party would then choose where the president came from, the successor. So this is a cleaning up exercise. And in any event, when there is a vacancy, if the president cannot continue for whatever reason, you don't swear in somebody to act. There is a provision in the Constitution for an acting president pending the election of another president. So you don't, an acting president does not take an oath of office as if that is the actual president. So we are just doing the cleaning up of the Constitution by removing redundant clauses. In other words, what we could have opted to do is not to inform Parliament and requested the law reviser to remove it because it was dealt with. So what we are simply doing in this new clause is to make provisions that are current and consistent with what we did in CAP 3, which is what I'm going to do, to read to honorable members so that they can debate from a point of knowledge. Clause 4 is a new clause, Honorable Chair, which was not contained in the bill that we passed here. It amends the section dealing with the assumption of office by the President and Vice Presidents following an election by repealing section 94 subsection 3 of that section. And the reason is one of good order. Section 94 provided for a Vice President who became President upon a vacancy to take the oath of office, which is what we deleted in CAP 2. That provision no longer applies. When Parliament passed amendment number 2 in 2021, it removed the automatic elevation of a Vice President upon a vacancy in the office of the President. This bill now provides that upon such a vacancy, Parliament elects a new President within 30 days. Within 30 days, the old subsection, therefore, has no further work to do and is accordingly removed so that the Constitution does not continue to carry a provision the law has already left behind. That's the reason. I so move that the amendment proposed by the Senate be taken into consideration, I think.
Debate.
Thank you, Honorable. Sorry, Honorable Gumbo, switch off your mic.
Why?
Right. Like we said, you can take a seat. Like we said in previous sittings, if you want to debate, please stand up and indicate that you want to debate without switching on your mic, and I'll definitely then give you the floor to do so, so that we don't disturb the technology that is happening here. So is there any further debate? I recognize you, Honorable Molokeli.